We're live.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello, and welcome to our Uncensored podcast. Holly, where can people listen to everything as I'm getting everything situated here?
Oh, man. Well, there's a lot. I don't have Miguel's rigmarole memorized, but so we have the Uncensored podcast, which you can listen to on iHeart Radio, the app, or Apple Podcast, or Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. But we don't just have the Uncensored podcast. All the parts and pieces of our show are broken down into their own separate little podcasts. Like you can listen to the full show in the same places I just mentioned. You can also listen to just some of the segments that you maybe like the most, like Blown Off, or Queen City Confessions, or whatever it is. And you can find those also wherever you find podcasting. So you can find us everywhere. And you can also follow Miguel and Holly on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And just because we're all family here, we love it when we are scrolling past your Instagram stories and you've shared something that you found funny or entertaining from our Instagram that Kelvin worked so hard at, and you share it to your story.
Yeah.
It's always so fun to see.
Yeah.
AKA, I'm now starting to look at insights and I see who shares what and like how or how many things get shared.
Good for you. I can't look at insights.
So I'm like, let's share some stuff.
Yeah, let's share it. I finally found, Miguel, where on Insights you can see where people unfollowed your page on Instagram.
It's depressing a little bit.
Of course, me having to go back and be like, I'm sorry, why did 20 people unfollow me on October 13th? Now, it kind of made up for it because like 7 people did follow me, but that doesn't make up for the 20 that left. So then I had to go and see what I posted. And then I'm like judging them for judging me. I'm like, this was a picture of my daughter with pumpkins. Do you not like my daughter with pumpkins?
No,
so I can't.
I can't. Right now for the next few months, we can't take it personally. And this is like, you probably are rolling your eyes because you literally have zero care about this.
No, you don't care.
Because
I cared.
I know. Well, because we're making the transition from, obviously a new city. So you can see as people in Charlotte are getting to know our show and they're curious and they're checking us out on Instagram. But then you also see some people from previous places we've been that are kind of like, well, you're not my show anymore. I don't follow you online anymore. So I'm
listening to like a new show maybe in my market or whatever.
And so they unfollow. So it is like, as a human being, when you look at that, and it's like, there was one day last week where it was like the Miguel and Holly Instagram had like 80 new followers. And I was like, yay. And then it was like 30 unfollows. And I'm like, some people are just like, well, I've been along the ride for long enough. So
I wish I could relate. That Miguel and Holly fam, man, they be coming through for me. I love them.
Good for you.
Y'all.
I love it. I love
People
it.
don't want to see my shit no more.
All right. Well, make sure also we have a Miguel and Holly Facebook page that you can join. That's just for Miguel and Holly fam and the Platypus Posse, which is what we call you that listen to the podcast. Real quick before we get to SoulWorker Stacy, some shout outs for those of you that are watching on YouTube and Facebook. Laura, Melody, Doe Eyes, Francisco, Amy, Shannon. Did I say Laura Top Life already? Yeah, she was the first one. I think I got everybody so far. Okay, cool. Let's get started. Welcome to the podcast. SoulWorker Stacy.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, y'all. How you doing?
Wonderful. We're talking about ridiculous Instagram stuff. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. You know how it is.
I love it. So real quick before we get into our fan members that are going to get a reading from you. Today, Holly, you talked about today being like 11/11. Like that's a very special day. Like, can you talk about that as someone who when Holly brought it up, I was like, wait, what?
Yes, I have. Okay, my personal thing is like 11. 11 is a big number. It means a lot of different things. It's manifesting. It's people relate it to like twin flames and soulmates. It's good luck. If you ever like stop the clock and everyone's like, oh, it's 11/11, make a wish. It's to believe that is when the magic happens. And so today being 11/11, and then are you ready? It's also 2022. It's a whole thing. Exactly. And so tomorrow, though, is like I'm all pumped up because it'll be 11, 12, 22. And you know what I mean? Like it's all threes and fours. Oh, I'm loving it. So
all
it's
the angel numbers lining up today.
Yes. November does that. In November, if you've ever noticed, you guys, even in the past, November is always like a transitional happy month where you're like, oh, you kind of catch the vibe for the next year to follow in November. If you ever pay attention to your years, pay attention. Sincerely, think about it. November sets the tone for the fall for the year coming.
Stacy, man, why did we ever talk about this before? I need to write it down.
I don't know.
You don't fuck me up.
Sincerely, though, think about this. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And I've always had a personal thing with like 11/22. And so, and then when sincerely, like it's one of those moments of like life always changes for me on 11/22. Massive car accident. All these different things happen on 11/22 for me that always set up for the following year. And I'm like, okay, it's a vibe. Let's go. It's a thing.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm thinking about last November before we knew, what was to come in the new year. I was going through my bachelor party in Key West. We had an untraditional Thanksgiving. Everything was different last November. And then after the wedding, we moved. We got a new job. Mm-hmm. So it was like the rumblings of things to happen.
It's always the year. I mean, think about it, Holly. Sincerely, like it's always November.
It is, because I was just thinking in my own life, like last November, first of all, in October has always been like, I had a vision, just bear with me. I had a vision like 5 years ago that something good was happening in October. I just didn't know which one. So I've sort of always been looking to Octobers, but last October, I kept seeing signs. First, I heard on the radio the Guns N' Roses song November Rain, which I hadn't heard in years. And that same day, I saw a license plate that said November Rain. And I was like, what? November was a little bit of a rough month last year. Now I got to go. I think I traveled to like a friend's wedding, which was cool. But we got some news personally from my household that like didn't bode well. And I was like, I'm not going to pay attention to that even. I'm going to pretend that doesn't exist because it's not for sure, but it was like some bad news. And it really did set the tone for what happened this year. And I'm hoping that, as we go through this November, maybe they feel like they're setting up to make 2023 a bit of a better year than last November's into 2022. So I hope that's what that means.
I'm so excited.
Nodding your head.
Kelvin.
Stacy's nodding her head.
My dog died on Thanksgiving last year, so
it
kind of makes sense.
Sort of. I mean, your life, you came to a death with your working situation you were in.
I know that's right.
Because you had no clue that you would end up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's factual.
And so, I mean, it's kind of a symbol for what ended up happening with your year.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
That's
amazing.
All right. Well, enough about us.
Yeah.
SoulWorker Stacy, we have some fam members that are new. And so we sort of walk them through. But for you that are new listening, this is where we hand over the show to SoulWorker Stacy, where she does her job. And I would like to introduce to you Carrie, one of our new Charlotte fam members. Yay! And
welcome, Carrie.
Thank you.
This is where we step back and we turn it over to Stacy.
Hi, Carrie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Stop being nervous. It's going to be fine. It's great. I'm so glad you do this with us. Thank you so much.
You shut out on me. I'm not terribly nervous.
Okay, so here's the dealio. I don't know what they prepped you for, but long story short, have an open mind, keep an open heart, and just have no expectations. Everything, you're in charge of your own fate, you're in charge of your own destiny, and I work solely and strictly through God. First and foremost, it's so funny because I was hoping you would go first. All these changes have happened to you in the last 3 years. Like it's been an upheaval, a giant snowball, I like to say, where everything has been just crazy. And now the dust is kind of settling and you're walking around going, okay, well, I think this is I think this is where I want to be, but I'm not quite sure. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything is actually sincerely working out for even better for the next year to come, to where you can breathe. And I know you've had a lot of loss and I know you've had a lot of changes because you're coming, like in my head, I see like empty hands going, but what about all of this that's happened? But it's almost like, okay, it happened. And now there's more room for other things to hope and walk into your life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. It's one of
actually been closer to 7-8 years, but
okay.
Right.
It's just been an ongoing thing where you're just exhausted. This year is going to be a transition of no more. Like you can finally breathe. You can finally rest. You have to make me a promise though, even if we never speak to each other again, that you don't look for the other shoe to drop, because it's not going to happen anymore. That light at the end of the tunnel isn't a train. It's sincerely like the way out. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I need you to know, did you lose your mom or are you taking care of her? And I ask that because she's heavy on you.
Yeah. No, I lost my mom and my stepfather and stepsister within like,
I was going to say, it was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, within like 80 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to know that she has walked with you every step of the way, holding your hand. And there have been times where you can literally, and don't quote me on this, and I'm not trying to like be you, but it's like she's literally saying, I've held her hand. I have literally sat next to her. And she says that you actually feel that with her sometimes. And you kind of like guess it. And you're like, well, maybe. No, it's actually her. It's one of the things like God's allowing that to happen for you to have peace. Because again, there's been a lot of times where not just with everything you've dealt with through the losses, but with life where you're like, what the actual freak? Like, how am I supposed to keep doing this? And those are the times where she's nearest to you, the closest and the most. I don't know if you have like a necklace or something you hold on to when you talk to her or where you feel her or when you're wanting to like feel her to like touch her, but she's saying she feels you back.
Well, I have a necklace on now, but it's actually my fiance's grandmother's necklace that he gave.
And she's also passed.
Yes, she passed.
Yeah. Now, what do you have of your mom's that you hold on to?
Not a necklace per se, but like certain pieces of clothing and that sort of
because she's like literally, she's like holding on, like you're holding on to it. So she just needs you to know how much she loves you and how great you are for everything that you've done. So your stepdad comes through as almost like, I'm dad anyways.
Oh yeah, he always that was.
Because he cuts his wrist going, blood doesn't matter, you're mine.
Absolutely.
Okay. He's so proud of you. Did she pass first or did he die first? Because it feels like he helped her.
He passed from pancreatic cancer and she was sick. We didn't realize, but she had blood clots and ended up.
And she never complained about anything.
No, she slept a lot and she, and everybody thought she was depressed, but she was sick.
She wouldn't complain about it because she just assumed that it was like, okay, I'm fine. And she was never somebody to complain anyways. It was more or less like, I've got this. You're a lot like that. Don't be offended. But it's like, I've got this. It could be worse. I'm okay. But please know that you helped her pass peacefully and that she's thanking you for all the burden you've carried with everything else. Do you also have a son, if you don't mind me asking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's guarding over him and telling you just to pray and everything will end up being better than you think it is.
Because he's a teenager and he's being a butthole.
Oh, he is. It's a whole different personality than what you're used to right now. And just know what I want you to try to do is take some time out just to hang out with him. Like literally. Yep.
I literally took the day off of work yesterday because he's sick and, he's taken a lot of the burden since, I'm divorced since his father left and stuff. So he's a man of the house and that kind of stuff.
And as far as that's all concerned too, don't mind me. I want you to know that you are not responsible for what happened in that relationship. You did everything you were supposed to do, but you carry a lot of burden on yourself for that. You grew apart. It wasn't even a lack of love.
Well, it was a lack of love on his part.
But I'm saying though,
he with my best friend of 23 years. So.
He cared about you. It's just he wasn't in love. You grew apart. And sincerely, there's regrets with him anyways. It's almost like he's ashamed, so he doesn't talk about it. And like he blocks himself off.
Mm-hmm. You are nailing like everything. Seriously. I mean, you really are because, definitely has regrets. But yeah, he walked away from us and with my best friend, she was at our wedding. And he lives with her now and pays all her bills. And she's still married. 8 No, I'm first and I'm engaged to a man.
And this is your person.
He is my person. He's also 20 years younger than me.
That's okay. It makes you live longer. Have fun.
Sorry, I'm not here. No, we're not here. We're not here. Sorry.
Oh my God. I was like, get it, Carrie. So thank you so much for this.
Person. And he loves my kids and he loves me. And, he goes above and beyond every single day.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful person. And like I said, so I lucked out with that. But yeah, I do carry a lot of burdens for some reason. I just can't seem to let them go, but I know I need to.
Trauma. You'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been in counseling and that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm not, no. I know, Miguel, you are in counseling as well. I mean, it helps. I've been in it probably 3 or 4 times in my life, and I'm 48. So, it does help to be able to beat that, be able to talk to somebody who's impartial and who can kind of walk you through this. But you literally nailed everything.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. I sincerely appreciate you, and God bless you. And I'm praying for you hard.
Thanks. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys. Y'all are great.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And Carrie, what part of North Carolina are you in?
Well, I'm working, but I live in Vail. I called you guys a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening. And you are now officially in the Platypus Posse.
Yes.
You're in the Miguel and Holly fam and the Platypus Posse.
Yay. Welcome.
Hey.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And you get that.
Thank you.
Yes, what Carrie deserves.
Hey, up for model of the year too. So.
All right, Carrie. Yes, you better get a girl. All right. Well, you have a good weekend. We know you are.
Every weekend's a good weekend.
Bye, Carrie. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love when it works out like that.
This is so much fun. I love this because it's like I feel like I can connect.
Yes, yes. That's why we were like, let's do this more on video. So that's why you listening right now, obviously this is going to be after the fact if we're doing it live, but it's always great, especially with these sessions that Stacy does. And you can see how Stacy is like in the zone, and it's like you're just feeling all of these things that are like coming to you at once. That's why it's always so fascinating to watch.
And it's fun because now you can actually see me doing all my hand motions instead of just looking like an idiot in my living room talking.
I love it. All right. Are you ready for the next Platypus Posse member?
Bring it.
All right. Here is Veronica.
Hello.
Welcome, Veronica.
Hey,
Veronica. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I cannot thank you enough for this, like sincerely, because I am just going to be here and don't mind me. Just keep an open heart, open mind, no expectations. Just know that I work solely and strictly through God, and you're always in charge of your own fate and you're always in charge of your own destiny. And I just want you to know that you are a cornerstone to so many. And I want you to know that everything that you do, because you're the kind of person that will just like quietly do all these good deeds and not talk about it, but they make a massive impacts. And just know that you actually make a massive impact in everybody's lives around you. And know that you're not failing, because sometimes you give yourself a really hard time as if you're not coming together the way you want to. Like your expectations of yourself is way, way higher than reality, if that makes sense.
Correct.
All of that is getting better. And just please know, I don't know if you're moving or trying to build up a house, but I keep seeing all these things around you where everything's being built up. Everything's being improved. Please know that all your deeds, all the things that you've been doing just because you're a good person is paying off. This is
Thank
that
God.
year where you're going, okay, I want this, and it's going to happen.
Thank God.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my husband. He works in Minnesota. No, Wisconsin. So he only comes in on the weekends. We've been trying to get him a job back in North Carolina.
I will say by April.
That's forever.
I know.
But okay.
But he'll be back by April.
I'll take it.
Okay, sincerely, because it's one of those things like, is his dad passed?
No.
What is going on with him? If you don't mind me asking, because it's like, that's like all I can say. And I don't know why I say it like this, but it's like, okay. Something like your husband carries so much on him. Oh, y'all, by the way, I read through people. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, totally.
It's just, I want you to understand that he is so in love with you. It's not even funny. And his love language is do. I am going to take care of, and I'm going to do this. And I may not be very good at my words, but he is an action
Correct
man.
on the words. Yes.
So please know that relationship is like this. Like there's
perfect.
you're perfect. All right, I don't know what's going on with his dad. Again, that's like heavy on me. So I'm just saying prayers and just letting you guys know. It's not like he's dying tomorrow if he, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if he has Alzheimer's.
No, we don't talk to, I don't talk to him. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so just know that for some reason that's sticking out. The other thing though too is really interesting, and I don't know why, and I'm somebody who just blurts out everything that comes to mind. So you have the sister, or did your mom have a sister that passed?
I did.
Okay, she's still here, or she passed?
She passed.
All right, I need you to know that she's coming through and that she's bringing lilies, and
that was her wedding flower. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
And she's walking like this. Like, and that was so interesting because that's how she walked in, holding the lilies like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please know that she is okay. It's been one of your deepest fears that she's not. And you need to know that she's at peace and that everything is okay. She's apologizing for leaving so soon. And
she should.
Okay. This is confusing to me because she's taking responsibility for her death. And I don't know what happened, but she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
She died of a blood clot 2 days after giving birth to my niece. And I would talk to her like 2 days before that, and she was complaining about not feeling well.
But she wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to bother anybody. I'm like, you're in the hospital. Speak.
So please know that she's taking responsibility of that.
Well, she doesn't have to be responsible.
Well, she's apologizing. So please know. And I don't know if you took over that situation, but she's saying thank you because she's putting, how do I explain this? She's putting people in your pocket like you take care of people, even if you're not with them. And she's thanking you for that. And please know that you haven't let her down and that she knows you've done everything you can in your power to make things happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You have dreams about her. And I don't know if she actually talks to you, but she just shows me that she shows you her face.
I see it. Just not dreaming. I'll just see it.
I didn't see it. Okay.
In my my brain.
Yeah. That's just her going, hi, I'm around.
Oh, good.
Oh, honey. The other thing I'm just so pushed to want to say to you is about butterflies. And it sounds like so random and everyone talks about butterflies, but this is specific. So I don't know if she sends her daughter the butterflies or what. Please just and specifically blue and purple butterflies. They're not her like daughter, real butterflies.
Her
but
daughter
someone
passed.
has to say that
my
again.
Niece passed. My
she
niece
did
passed.
not.
Yeah, about 5 months later.
Please know that she's the butterflies.
Aww.
Was there something with her with the services or anything like that? With like it literally like purple or blue butterflies or
Honestly,
violet?
It was ladybugs. That was her nursery was ladybugs, and it was just we see ladybugs and it reminds us of them. But I don't know.
I need you to know that she's okay. I need you to. And with the baby though, was it more breathing? It was
heart.
Okay, because it's like everybody puts it on my chest. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you've gone through everything that you have.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you still keep going.
Well, you have to, right? You got family. I got my parents. People. They lost a child.
Ask your mom about the butterflies.
I will.
Because I please, however you can, get back in touch with us because somebody has something. I don't know if it's an urn. I don't know if it's a box, but she won't stop.
Oh my God. No, there was. My sister was a librarian in Texas, and my parents started a fund, and they built this beautiful mosaic butterfly outside of the library. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, there you go. Oh my gosh. Wow. I just saw it. I was like, oh my God, that big butterfly.
So Justin, it's a lot of information at once. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, totally.
But the other thing too is know that your health is okay.
Oh, good.
Because you think about it often. And I don't know if you were just convinced that you were going to die young. No. You're good for a long time.
Perfect. I mean, hopefully, no jokes. Never mind.
So do you have any other questions?
I do. I know you're not supposed to be like leading or giving too much information, but I'm curious if there is a um an older male or something around, or
But it's not your
near
dad,
her,
is it?
or no,
It's almost like an uncle, or because he's got darker hair.
It's my uncle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He passed not too long
Did
ago.
he have cancer, or because he keeps going? It was either like a 1-2 punch, or whatever happened. There's a 2 involved.
Well, yes, not cancer. He had constant heart, like valve replacements, things like that. He got better. They put this thing in, and then he did it. Just in the middle of the night, fell, and then that was it.
That was the end of it. Because it's like literally like a 1-2 punch. Okay. I need you to know he did not suffer. And whoever has his guilt about not being able to say goodbye properly, know that he did not suffer and know that he is okay.
Okay.
And he loves you.
He was the head of our family.
And he's a giant smartass. Like,
yeah. And
sarcasm was his thing, and just know that this is his way of validating.
Oh yeah, it's a bit all in Spanish, so I don't know if you understand him or if he speaks English now or what. But
I love it. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you,
Veronica.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be in this very intimate, personal moment.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing us that, and thank you so much for listening and taking that leap of faith. Because for those of you that are just listening to the podcast and not our on-air show, we usually just throw it out there because I like it to be random of like, hey, if you're listening to us and you've never contacted us before or a radio show, just shoot us a message, and the first 2 people will get you on to be read by Stacy. And so we like to make it super random because there's no connection. And so thank you for allowing us to be able to be a part of this.
It was lucky. I was stuck at a stoplight and I could do it real quick.
That's awesome.
So it worked out.
Thank you so much.
What part of North Carolina are you in, Veronica?
I'm in Harrisburg. Right outside Charlotte.
Very cool. Well, welcome to the Miguel and Holly fam and the Platypus Posse.
Oh, thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, wait. There we go.
Oh, I see 11:11. You want to roll today?
She got extra powers, mama. Listen, when you were talking about the butterfly, I know that this wasn't your intention, but as she was like putting the pieces together, Stacy was doing this to her hair, and I feel like she was saying like, "Yeah, bitch, I know." Yeah, bitch, I know. But you weren't.
Like, come on. Like, I could feel it. Whenever anything like that happens and it nags me and nags me and nags me, there's times where people are like, no. And then they'll contact me 2 or 3 days later. And they're like, oh my gosh, you were completely right. I'm like, of course I was, because it was nagging me. Because that just doesn't stop.
Right. And that's one of the things that we always tell the whoever does the readings with you, if they've never listened to the podcast before or had a reading, is I always say Stacy goes really fast and she'll probably say something because it's just symbols and it's pictures, mental pictures like that, where
feelings.
Right. So it's never like, well, your sister had a thing with butterflies and that's how the memorial. It's a butterfly. And so you have to sort of put the pictures together. And then she was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense.
I know.
So
and it wasn't and I said it wasn't a natural butterfly. I knew it wasn't like a butterfly, but I knew there was something about the butterfly.
Stacey, you have to have like issues with stoners because I mean we just have no memories.
No, I know how to. Well, yeah, that's a whole. It's fine.
How does that? Yeah,
I got to slow down for that.
Just like they slow down in their minds. Oh, Stacy, well, thank you so much. Do you have any big plans for Thanksgiving?
No, it's going to be a very different type of Thanksgiving this year because my oldest moved to Cincinnati. My mother's gone. So it's literally just my husband and my boys. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's just a transition and change. Say that again.
It's pared down. It's a little, it's, back to basics maybe.
And I'm so not basic. So it's like, I'm the girl who will cook for a massive army. And so the day before Thanksgiving, and Miguel is aware of this because he has shown up, I have pie day. And I make like 50 different types of pie. And then I just give them away to everybody. So that's my favorite part about Thanksgiving right now. So I'm like, woo-hoo.
I think I'll be able to make it to Pie Day today. This year.
I was gonna say yes. I better see you. It'll be wonderful. And the other thing, I don't know about y'all, and I'm probably just like hiding under a rock, but can we just talk about Taylor Swift's new album for just like a millimeter of a second?
Yes, I'll pull it up as you say it and play.
I'm slightly obsessed with it.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's a vibe. It's just a complete vibe. So,
and what I love, and I mentioned this, and then I saw TikToks that sort of reinforce this belief, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it's mine and other people's beliefs that it's like all the songs on this album are like companion songs to other of songs of hers. Like they have a similar bass line or a similar melody or whatever, and it's almost like the companion is the only word I can think to say. Like this song, and this is like the second part that like the answer to it, and just
perfect pair.
It's
so
insane.
Cool to me.
It's like I'm obsessed with like snow on the beach, and I'm like I always think about Sparks Fly because she talks with the light and all. I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's wonderful. I love it so much. So that's all. That's the highlight of my life these days.
I love it. I feel like especially because Taylor, she'll put out so many songs, so I have to like do it in chunks. Is that a cat?
Yes, it's Albert. I'm sorry.
I just saw a tail come on the screen. I was like. They just swatted it away. I was like, what's happening over there? So I'm still in the first half of the album, and I'm still obsessed with Lavender Haze.
Yeah, that's a good one. I noticed that they're starting to play that on radio stations now.
Yes. And surprisingly, just because I do apologize if you are a fan of Lana Del Rey, but I'm not a big fan of Lana Del Rey.
Love Lana.
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like the song, but then the more I've listened to,
the more that you can't hear Lana Del Rey in it at all.
True.
Like is she even in it? I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying I can't hear her.
I mean, where is she on the song?
Where is she?
She in there in the background.
She way in the back providing harmony.
She's in the other room. It's fine.
All right. So before we head out, let's just do some Stacy's laugh gives me life, Alexis said. Laura was listening and said, I'm dying over here. Laura Top Life said, I love how we're doing this via Zoom. Melody said, Stacy is the real deal. Had a reading with her last month. Alex said, yay, this is the first time I've been able to catch it live. And then Shannon said, Stacy, you can come to my place. We do an open door Thanksgiving for all the friends who don't have a family to visit.
Love it.
And then Stefan said, while we're at it, can we talk about Renaissance? LOL. We have and we will. I will always talk about Renaissance. And then Heather said, Pie Day. Love the idea.
I also want to give a shout to Vanessa P., who said she's been a listener since 2015, have listened to every single podcast, and I'm just now finally making it to a live uncensored video. So much love to Miguel and Holly. So thank you.
Vanessa, welcome to the live Platypus Posse. All right. Well, Stacy, how can people contact you if they want to get a session?
My website, SoulWorkerStacyRenee.com. And please, please follow me on Instagram at SoulWorkerStacyRenee.
Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And I still have the blue check mark for now, y'all. So
for now. Producer Kelvin.
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. And OnlyFans is coming.
No, it's not.
Stacy, can you feel in the universe, when is Kelvin going to get this damn OnlyFans? He's been talking about it since he's been on the show.
She can feel that I'm broke, so I'm sure.
I was going to say, he's just a little broke right now. It'll be fine. February, Kelvin. February, baby. No.
February.
Income tax time.
Right. I love it. Well, you can follow me everywhere at Miguel Fuller. Make sure to follow the show, Miguel and Holly. Have a great weekend. Stacy, we love you.
Love you. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.